goodness. If you don't mind, I'm just going to take in the larger stage this year. So I'm just going to feel the real estate here. I remember last year, I was like, Joey from ECP, I'm in the smaller stage. He goes, yep, that's right. What about the bigger stage? He said, most actors don't want the bigger stage. I said, I want the bigger stage. He goes, not this year, you're not getting the bigger stage. I said, okay. Next year. He goes, next year. And here we are, next year. But not really next year, 2 years ahead. Okay. Can I get house lights up on the audience? I'm sorry, all right, quick. For a show of hands, who was here in 2020 to see my show Forever Ends It by raising hands? Actually, I should say this. Who has never seen me do stand-up before? This is the first time that you're, what? That's the same hands. Practically. All right, and then for all that saw me in 2020, I want your best George Takei impersonation, oh my, on the count of 3. If you saw me in 2020, 1, 2, 3. Oh my. We should have called Guinness Book World of Records. Most George Takei impersonations done on a cruise ship. We would have won that. Yes, sirree, Bob. Why is this so far back? This is really far back. This is another zip code. Kind of like Delancey and the other Delancey, other zip code. See, there's some of you who don't know what that's about. You're just gonna have to ask a friend. Now, it's interesting because when I did my show in 2020, what very few of you will have known this, but I had, let's put it this way. I was supposed to have surgery before the cruise. I put it off, and spinal surgery at that. I had a bulging disc between my C4 and C5, pushing into my spinal cord, blocking the spinal fluid. My hands were completely numb. And if you noticed, if you were at my comedy show, I pretty much sat down the entire time. That's because if I was standing, I would have collapsed. So that a lot of you, none of you really know about this, but I had the surgery, which is great. Finally had it. Feeling is returning slowly but surely to my hands. I'm able to stand up for a longer period of time, so that's a good thing too. Yes, thank you. Yes. So many things have been happening on this cruise. And see, part of my act is really just talking about things that happened on the cruise. And unfortunately, this is still kind of the halfway point, a little bit past, so more things could have happened. But let's just start off with the day today. This is a good enough as any. So we get off the ship. We don't go on a tour. We don't go on an excursion that we purchased beforehand. We actually decide we're gonna get a taxi and we're gonna go to Megan's Bay. Yeah, why not? Megan's Bay. My significant other, her name is Megan, not spelled the same way, but she's like, let's go to my bay. I go, okay, fine. We'll go to your bay. Is it weird that I'm holding a towel on my lap? Where else could this go? See, if I throw it on the floor, all of you, people that are germaphobes are like, how dare you? You just dropped it on the floor.
It goes under your armpit.
Under my armpit?
Yeah. Garrett, under your armpit.
Like that?
Yeah.
Now that looks stupid.
It's starting to sweat.
Mic stand. And then this one's view is like this. Anyway, so it was a great day today, and okay, what I'll do is I'll keep it here, and I'll just go like this. I'm just kidding. I can sit on it, right? Yeah. Now I got a little cushion for my bum. Cushion for my bum. Okay, so anyway, so we get on this taxi cab, and it's not really a taxi cab. It's a taxi truck. It's like a pickup truck with a whole extra area added on back, which probably is not up to code, but you know, it is what it is. But as I get on this truck taxi with Megan, my stepdaughter Keely, we're also with Aaron, our friends Aaron and Melinda. So for those of you from 2020, Aaron is not my sister, and Megan, of course, not my stalker. So we get on that taxi, and lo and behold, guess who's there? Denise Crosby. Denise Crosby's there. Robert Picardo's wife is there. Robert Picardo is not there because he has to go and rehearse for John Delancey's play. Also, Nana Visitor is not there, but her husband Matthew is there because Nana had to rehearse. So it's basically, you know, you've got Denise and myself and 6 fans from the cruise. So they pop on, and it's so funny because the 2 guys that came on last, that's Mike and Sully. They're from Indianapolis. Mike and Sully get on, and Sully is the huge fan. Sully was going to bring his wife, who's also a huge fan, but she had to drop out. So last minute, Mike took the place. And if you remember, Mike and Sully, what names do those? Monsters, yes, exactly. So Mike shows up, and Mike doesn't, you know, he hasn't seen that much Trek, but he sees Denise Crosby, and he says, "Oh, I love you in the show Suits. You did such a great job in the show Suits, and I love you in this other project." He's talking about all this stuff, and then he says, "Oh, I don't know any of the other actors on this cruise, you know, just know you." And I'm sitting in the back, and I've got my mask on. I almost wanted to say, "You mean you don't know the captain of the cruise?" How can you not know George Takei? And he'd be looking around going, where is he? Is George here right now? Is he? I heard he was coming to my show. I really wanted to have him here, but it's okay. It's all right if he's not here. Years ago, I was invited to be the master of ceremonies for the Coalition of Asian Pacifics and Entertainment, and just a long name thing. And I'm there as the master of ceremonies. And it was me and Lauren Tom, the actress from, people know who Lauren Tom is? Yeah? Okay, good. Lauren Tom's great. So we have a whole dinner that we go through, and then it's time for the program to start. So the president of the organization comes over and says, "Garrett, Lauren, we're ready to go. Let's go start the program." So we get up to the podium, and I let Lauren take the mic, and she's like, "Excuse me?" This is the volume of her voice. "Can we all please pay attention? We're about to start the program." Nobody does a thing. They're still eating their food, drinking. You hear plates, forks, knives clanking, and she's like, "Excuse me," with a little bit more volume. Again, nothing. Now she's looking at me. She's starting to panic. She's like, "I don't know what to do. What should I do? What should I do?" And I said, "I think we need a little George." And she goes, "What?" I said, "Give me the microphone." I take the mic. I said, "Would everyone please put down your forks, your spoons, your coffee cups, and pay attention. We're about to begin the program." A hush fell over the entire award show. Everyone was quiet, except for one person sitting in a front table, George Takei. And all I hear is George laughing. Not only does he have a unique and amazing voice, but that laugh, yes! It's like he's firing photon torpedoes at you. Oh my goodness. Such a memory. I love that. All right, so so we get on the thing, and we start to hear about everyone's story about what's going on in their life and this and that. And there's a couple from Connecticut. They're sitting right in front of me. And it was Brian and Tina from Bristol, Connecticut. Are you guys here in this show? No, later show. I'm still going to tell. Well, I have received permission from everybody to talk about what happened. They went on a tour from Nassau. So not today, but they're telling us about the first tour. And it was a submarine, sort of a two boats, like a one boat and a submarine kind of a thing. So when they disembarked in Nassau, they actually just walked a few paces over to where they boarded a small boat, and that took them out to where there was some type of submarine type thing. They did the tour. Then after that, they were shuttled back to the other boat, and then the boat did not come back to the port. It kind of mysteriously went to this area where there was this random dock underneath a bridge. And the guy goes, well, because it's Sunday, we have a special treat for you. We're not taking you back to the port. We're dropping you off under this bridge. But don't worry, folks. We have 2 transport vehicles that will take you back to your port, no problem. So they're like, cool, all right. These 2 vehicles come up, and the Connecticut couple are now, as they board, they're looking around. There's holes in the seats. It smells like a work vehicle. It's just like, it doesn't look right. It's so shady. And so they start looking at each other like, oh my gosh, is this gonna be something, are we in danger? I mean, what's happening here? Are we gonna get kidnapped, And then I jokingly said, oh my God, what if it was a white slavery ring thing, And so I'm looking at the couple, and they're in their 40s or 50s. I'm gonna say 50s, and Tina she's natural redhead. And so I said, at the white slavery auction, they would be saying, okay, here we have a middle-aged Caucasian woman, and of course, she is a redhead. As they call them in America, gingers. Now, we all know in Nassau, Bahamas, that this is a specially priced item. We always charge triple, quadruple sometimes on the bid. So, the husband, we throw him in for free. Everyone in Bahamas knows, if you're with a ginger, you have luck. Good luck will come your way, good fortune. So we're telling this story, and this couple is now cracking up, and they can't even breathe. But, these are the wonderful little comedic gems that I'm coming across when I just venture off the ship just for a little bit. We had a tour the first day, Nassau, and our tour was the Sights and Flavors? No, Sights and Smells. What was it? Guys, do you remember the name of it?
No, you were on it.
Yeah, I know I was on it. Yeah. She's like, you were on it. Yeah, so it was Sights and Sounds of Nassau, whatever it was. And you know how they go. You meet down in deck, I guess Studio B, they give you a sticker. You know what group you're with. I was with number 45. Group 45, are you here? Yeah, one of you. Okay, so 45, we were super happy to have 45. The other group, which was doing the identical tour, was group 28. Yeah, 2 of you. 28 was being led by, that was a celebrity-led excursion that was being led by Wilson Cruz.
He led it?
28, yes. And then number 45 was my celebrity-led excursion. Now, what was funny was I was, talking to Wilson. He was actually sitting behind me, and I was just joking about the fact that I loved how Anthony rapped at the opening ceremonies when he was being introduced to all of you, when he said, and I'm gonna wear sunscreen. I love that. It's just like someone said, I'm gonna have a ham sandwich. Thank you. And so then at that point, Wilson was joking around with me. He said, oh my gosh. He goes, Anthony is so white. They actually use his face to bounce light off of when we're filming. I'm like, what? They use his face as a bounce card to bounce light off of? And then Wilson goes, I love working with Anthony. I look so fabulous. I mean, That's right. Speaking of the opening ceremony, wow, the two injuries? What the? That was crazy. And then just the way that people kind of came out, you know? Do you remember when Denise Crosby came out? She did this. She had the one hand up, and she goes, see that? Right? Terry Farrell had the two hands up. Now, I make mention of this because after I did the Power of Delancey story in 2020, some fans made up a dance called the Delancey. Let me show you. For those of you who were not here in 2020, ask a friend. So now, this is the Tasha Yar, okay? Here's the Dax. Tasha Yar. Who else did a good dance move? Oh, Walter. Walter, when he got on stage, you see that? He did like a double punch. He kind of came up and went. So this is the Chekhov. All right, so these are all dance moves that you can use at the dances that are remaining. Tasha Yar. Dax. Delancey. And then, who else was there? Yeah, the Billingsley. Everyone just, anytime you fall, oh my God, I just did a Billingsley. Sorry. Oh my God. This? Okay. Go Will! I'm gonna guess that's Billingsley saying that right now. Love you, John. I will not take my pants off like you did during your panel. These pants stay on. Thank you. Oh my gosh. All right. Is Denise Crosby here? Because she could be my Tasha Yar to help me out here. For those of you who remember, she was my chief of security. There was a one heckler that I had for the Late Show. And Denise Crosby gets up and says, Garrett, I'm gonna handle this for you. I'm like, oh. So she gets up, walks all the way back to the heckler and says, you have one fucking warning. Yeah, she's good like that. I like that. Oh, and then when Gowron got on stage, oh my God. Oh, the last move. Sorry. So we've got, who's this? And not to be undone. Did you see Wilson Cruz when he came down those steps? He did that kick. He's from New York City. It was like a Rockettes thing. All right, one more quiz. No, let's not use his real name. Let's use Colbert. This is doing the Colbert. Most people think this is Michael Jackson, but it's not. It's the Colbert. No. Oh my God. Do you guys remember a long time ago, early 90s, every TV station was advertising, Girls Gone Wild. All I could think about was, I always see the comedic side of everything. And I thought, oh, no, it should be Asians Gone Wild. It just shows a bunch of Asian high school students like tearing up their textbooks and breaking their calculators. I can say this because I'm Asian, it's okay. You know, model minority, Asians are studying hard, but Asians Gone Wild, they're just taking dictionaries and burning them,
And getting
What is that, a
bad grades.
thesaurus? Light it up. Asian's gone wild. Oh, this is a random thing too. I have a friend of mine. He made a really funny comment. He said, I really wish I had someone that cared about me as much as scam likely and spam risk. Like, referring to how many scam calls we get right now. It's just like spam risk, scam likely cost me more than my parents do. Oh my God. Star Trek Bridge Commander, who's played that game? It's on the Oculus, it's VR. I played it for the first time at Dr. Muhammad Noor's house. He's like, yeah, Garrett, try it out, it's really cool. So I stick it on, and I thought he was gonna give me a tutorial. No, he throws me right into the game, right? It's like a live game, and I'm playing with people around the world. So the person that played the captain, I think he was 12. The voice had not changed yet, And so he's like, hey, welcome, I'm the captain in this mission. I'm like, oh, hi, Captain. Yeah, so you are going to be helm. You're going to be flying the starship. I'm like, okay, aye, Captain. And then I said, do we have all the rest of the crew? Yep, you're the last one. So it was him, he was the captain, and I think it was, who do you have as what are the other positions that we can do? It's
navigation and engineering.
It was tactical and engineering, right? And okay, so I think there was one other 20-something-year-old guy, but I also remember the guy that was tactical was this older British guy, So he's like, right, I'm tactical. So the captain, hi, I'm 12, tactical British guy, right? So we start the first mission, and the captain orders me to go to Impulse or something like that. So I'm playing around with the VR. I'm so not familiar with any of this, right? And so he's like, okay, well, you just have to move that lever. That's all you gotta do. And I'm like still trying to grab, where is the lever? What lever? How do I grab it? Do I push it? Do I grab it and then, what? Just please grab the lever and we will begin our mission. And so, then all of a sudden everyone's chiming in and saying, right, just look over at the lever right there. You can do it, just push it there. No, that's not it. Okay, let's start from square one. And I'm looking at Muhammad, I'm going, Muhammad, I don't know how to do this. They're yelling at me. The 12-year-old captain, the older British guy, they're all getting mad at me. And I just hung up. I just said, remember that? I ran. I was so, they're probably here today. That was me. Oh my goodness. Hey, this is something that you all have heard the entire 4 days you've been here. Okay, let me try to do this. This is the best impersonation I can do. Here we go. Doors closing. Doors opening. Going up. Deck 8. Deck 9. It's this female British voice in all the elevators. I think ECP Cruises missed something here.
Yep.
They should have recorded, whoever the captain of this cruise is, each year it changes, should be the recorded voice for the elevator. So it should have been George Takei, right? Doors closing. Doors opening. Deck 8. Deck 9. That would have been awesome. 2 years ago, Janeway's the captain.
Doors opening. Doors closing. Going up. Deck 8. I'm the captain. Damn it.
But would have loved to hear George's voice. That'd be fun. Super fun. Oh, was that photo ops today? And the Royal Caribbean, there's like, you have ECP people. No, not ECP. You said you have Epic photo ops personnel and Royal Caribbean personnel to kind of manage the lines there. So the Royal Caribbean representative was standing next to my photo op area. And for those of you who know me, I'm always messing around and joking around with all the fans, talking to them. So after 2 fans walked away, he's like, I like your energy, man. You could work for Royal Caribbean. I'm like, I'm a room attendant on the next cruise. I'm vacuuming your room as you come in. Martha, that looks like Garrett Wang. Jim, that can't be him. He's not a room attendant on the Royal Caribbean. There's no way. Just ask him. You know, you look a lot like Garrett Wang. That's what people tell me. Ooh, your toilet's very dirty. Come back later. Oh my God. Where are we gonna go next? Who knows? Let's see. Oh my goodness. Phoenix Comic-Con. It's now called Phoenix Fan Fusion or something like that because they got sued by San Diego Comic-Con, right? Yeah. So back in the day, they had a huge scare. I don't know if you guys heard about this. It's the only time where a armed gunman made it through everything, and he had a list of actors he was going to shoot. Top of the list was JDF himself. Power Ranger Jason David Frank was the top of this guy's list. So guess whose table was right by Jason David Frank? Me. And I had gotten Robbie McNeil, Tom Paris in on this convention, so they didn't have enough table space, so they said, do you mind if Robbie shares your table? I'm like, yeah, no problem. So Robbie and I are sitting right next to Jason David Frank's table. So we found out, and they caught this guy, because he was making a post on Facebook saying, this is what I'm gonna go do. And someone saw it, called Phoenix police, and they found him, thank goodness, yeah. But when we heard about this, I texted Megan, I texted my lady, and I was like, oh yeah, you just missed it. They just caught this guy. He had weapons, he got through all the security, and he had this list. And the only name we know of is Jason David Frank, whose table was right next to my table and Robbie's table. So, you know, if he started firing, chances are we were in the line of fire. I would have been hit by one of these bullets. And I told Megan, I said, with my last dying breath, I would have dipped my finger into my bullet holes, and then I would have written on the ground, I love you, Megan, and then die. And then, without even skipping a beat, Megan texts back, nah, you would have wrote, I love you, Robbie. And then, or Tom Paris, I love you, Tom Paris. And the S is in there, Paris. Oh, you like that joke. I need to have more morbid type of jokes. Start with the morbid and then do the funny afterwards. And that lady will need oxygen, so. I have a complaint to make with Royal Caribbean and ECP. Garrett Wang made me laugh so much that I passed out. I need to record that laugh and that's gonna be my cell phone ringer right there. It's just her laugh. People are like, that's a very strange ring. I go, it's a laugh. You gotta be there. You gotta be there. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I have 2 sets of notes. I have the one that I started on, of like the order of the show, and then I have the main set of stuff. Who went to George Takei's panel? Yeah? Yeah. That was cool. That was a really good panel. Oh. Germaphobes, look that way. It's Q, he's here. you remember in Princess Bride when he's got the cups in front of Wesley and he's like, "What's that?" And he switches everything. Wallace Shawn right there. I just pulled a Wallace Shawn. Oh my God, there's so many things to say. The problem is they have so many stories that I have to edit. I have to figure out what's gonna fit in here and what's not. Oh, so after we got back from the Magens Bay trip, we come back and I see right at the cruise, right at that little shopping area right off the port, you see those shops and those restaurants, there's one fan sitting on a bench dressed like, full Andorian makeup. Full Andorian makeup. And I see him, I'm like, "Hey, brother, yeah, way to commit. Love that." And then he's got a mask on, he pulls it down so he can hear me, so I can hear him. He goes, "No, actually the makeup artist that was supposed to take this off, couldn't find her." So he's like sitting in this room, was like, "Man, I gotta get down to shore. I'm still wearing this. All right, let's do it." Just all the local St. Thomas people are just like, "Anyway, welcome to St. Thomas." In fact, that kind of happened when we first got off of the ship. We were standing there waiting for our friends, and Megan and I are standing there, and there's like people on stilts, right? They're like walking around doing the thing, and there's an announcer on a microphone with another woman in the shack, and he's like, "Welcome to St. Thomas, come down, take pictures with our people, it's wonderful, and you can, blah, blah, you can do this, some shopping, and you can eat some food here." And so then he turns his mic off, and I hear this conversation between the two of them, and I hear her going, What are all these people? What is going on? Everyone is wearing something with Star Trek." And then the guy goes, he's like, "They're all from Star Trek. Every single one of them." And she's like, "No, that's not possible." Because I think she misunderstood. The way he said it, it seemed like every fan was an actor on Star Trek. Every single Star Trek actor from the beginning of time, they're all here. Original series, Next Generation, on the way to Enterprise, even the new shows, even the animated shows, every single actor and background actor are here today. And she's like, "No, it cannot be." You were there for that. We were waiting for you when that happened. Yeah, you were waiting for me in the other part. That's right. That's so funny. Okay, Mike and Sully. Oh, I want to dedicate this show. I should have said this in the beginning. I want to dedicate this show. Some of you may have come to my one show where I did a shout out to not my sister, Erin's roommate. And her roommate was Julie.
Wendy.
And she said, Julie's...
Wendy.
Oh, sorry, Wendy. Wendy, her roommate was Wendy. I just messed that whole thing up. Her roommate was Wendy. And Wendy was not a Trek fan. Wendy was here with her parents, right? And this is, just a trip, like a family trip. So I made a shout out to, I called her out. I'm like, is Wendy here? You should definitely watch Star Trek now. So she's like, okay. And then I did a hello to both her parents. And so I'm dedicating this show to her mother because she passed away in 2021, yes. So that's the sad thing. So both Mark and Wendy are on this cruise. So I just want to dedicate this show to Julie McMurray and her untimely and early passing and unfortunate passing due to COVID. So yeah, thank you. Years ago, I traveled to Germany, and this was one guy from Germany. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Fluchtwege. Yeah, that means exit, emergency exit in German. So my very first trip to Germany to do my first German convention was probably back in 1995, so it's been a while now. But I didn't know much about Germany. Like I was always, as an American, when you grow up as an American, you watch American movies and you watch American World War II movies. And all you see are good guys, the American soldiers, the bad guys, the German soldiers, right? And so my preconceived notion of Germany was that it was going to be this very barren wasteland, sort of like no trees, just concrete and metal and Mercedes-Benz. That's it. That's my whole concept. And so I was offered 2 tickets. So I took a buddy of mine and I said, yeah, do you want to head out to Germany with me and do this convention? And he's like, okay. And my friend's name is Tim Lunabos. He actually was a guest star on TNG. I didn't see the episode he did, but I think he jumped into a war corps or something like that. So anyway, but he was an actor on TNG. So he came with me on this trip, and we flew on Lufthansa, and we did a pre-trip before Germany. We decided we were going to stop in Amsterdam first, so we were going to the Netherlands. So we get on Lufthansa, and we sit down. They had business class seats for us, and all of a sudden, before we take off, the flight attendant gets on the PA, and she says, "For the passengers, Masahiro Tanabe and Hiro Harataka, please come to the front of the plane." So Tim leans over to me and he says, "It's starting." I go, "What?" "They're getting rid of all the minorities now." And I was like, come on, man. And the funny thing was, we never saw these people after we took off. Like, we was like, where did those guys go? Horrible. So we fly in and we land in Amsterdam, and we're staying at this cool hotel that's kind of a collection of river homes that combine together and to make one big hotel. So I had asked for a room with 2 beds. So they took us to the room, and this is after a long travel day. They took us to the room, and they're like, "And here we are, sir, and here's the bed area." I said, wait. 2 people, where are the 2 beds? "Oh, right here, sir." He goes down to the single bed, and then pulls it apart. So now it's 2 beds the width of my body, okay? So if you just go, you're gonna fall off, that's it. You just one slight degree, you're off. And I said, and we're spoiled as Americans. American hotel room is like a palace compared to a European hotel. I mean, this bed was so tiny, so I said, "Give me the upgrade." So we went to another. The room was bigger, but it was the same single bed that he separated into 2 narrow beds. We went through this 5 times until I finally said, "I don't care, what's the largest thing you have here?" And they go, "Well, sir, that's an additional this much money." I said, "Just take my credit card, please, take it." So one night, I don't go out. Tim goes out, and he comes back, and he's so happy and excited. He goes, "I went to the most amazing club. Oh my goodness, the music was great. Everybody there was just having an amazing time. Beautiful women and this and that." And I go, "Oh, that's great, okay. We definitely should go tomorrow night." I said, "Okay." So then we go to the same venue, and you can hear crickets. There's like 7 people there. That's including the staff working, right? And we're like, "But this is it?" He goes, "I don't understand. I don't get it. This is not what it was like yesterday." So I said, "Okay, all right, let me talk to the bartender." So I walked up to the bartender. I said, "Were you working first of all, I said, "Do you speak English?" And she says, "Yes." "Were you working last night?" And she says, "Yeah." "Who was here last night?" "Oh, that was DJ, and to this day, I don't remember the name. I think it was a young DJ Tiesto, maybe, but I had no clue. But it was someone who was definitely at the top of the DJ food chain." And this bartender says, "He goes to a different location every night, and wherever he goes to, his people follow." And I go, "Oh, where's he at tonight?" "He's at the China Club." I go, "Hey, I'm Chinese, let's go." So we take a taxi cab. China Club is on the outskirts of Amsterdam. It was 47 minutes to get there. We get there, we get out to the front of the line. I walk up to the security guy at the door, and he says, "Do you have a membership?" I said, "What?" "You have to have a membership to come in." I said, "Well, I said, "We're tourists. I mean, we're not from Netherlands or Amsterdam. Can you please help out?" He's like, "I'm sorry, sir." I said, it's like 45 minutes. I said, "Listen, can I just go in for 5 minutes? That's all I need, just to see what's going on, listen to the music for a second. I'll be right back. I'll leave my friend out here. He had the experience." And Tim's like, "Thanks, man, thanks." So I said, "You were there last night, you're fine." So I go in, and he's not kidding. I can't even tell you. Usually when you're in a nightclub and they play music, there's some songs that you're like, "Yeah, I can dance to this." And then they'll play something else. You're like, "Let's go sit down, let's rest." So it's not as good. No, every second of this DJ's set was amazing. And he was playing electronica, trance specifically is the subgender. And it was absolutely amazing. And again, he was right. Every single woman that was there, and if you remember at the time, filming in Los Angeles, going to LA clubs, it was always women who knew they looked good and they acted that way. But in Amsterdam, it was women who could have been beauty queens that acted humble, which was really weird, and there was tons of them everywhere. 9s, 10s on the scale from 1 to 10, 11s and 12s. It was unbelievable. And I remember walking on the dance floor, and then some girl said, "Dance?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll dance." I'm dancing with her, yeah, this is great. And then I go, "Oh my gosh, Tim's outside." Okay. I walk back out there, and I look at the bouncer, I go, "Hi, please, is there anything we can do without memberships?" And the bouncer goes, "Let me tell you the truth. There are no memberships. You don't need a membership." I made that up. I said, "So what's the problem?" He goes, "You? How you're dressed? Okay." And I had black, like, I looked like this, black, 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 everything black. And he goes, "Your friend? No." And I look back at Tim and I realize he's wearing hiking boots, jeans, like a J. Crew barn jacket. He looks like he's going to go hiking in the Pacific Northwest, is what it looks like. Okay. And so I was like, "So this is the reason why you wouldn't let us in?" He goes, "Yes." I go, "Okay, so what can we do?" "You can go back to your hotel, change, and come back." I said, "Now, wait a minute. You want us to take a 47-minute taxi cab back to our hotel, and then take another 47 minutes back here, which means that would be at this time, and what time do you close?" The time was like, maybe we'd have 15 minutes or 10 minutes, so they would have been closed. And I said, "Oh, please, what if I offered you a tip?" And he looks at me and he laughs. He goes, "Tipping only happens in Hollywood." So then I'm like, "Oh my God." So I look at Tim and I look at the bouncer, and then I take my wallet. And back then it wasn't euros, it was Dutch guilders. So I took what was the equivalent of $100 in Dutch guilders. That's a nice tip. So, and I walk up to the guy, I go, "Excuse me, what's your name again?" And he goes, "My name is Jan." I said, "Well, Jan, great to meet you." And I brought my hand up and I palmed him the money like that. And I said, "I'm from motherfucking Hollywood." And he goes, "Go right in, sir." So I'm in the club, we're in the club, I'm dancing around, I'm having a great time, and I'm dancing with, I think, 4 different women, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna dance with you, and I'm gonna turn to the east and dance with you, my southerly dance partner right here." So I was dancing with multiple people, and it was so much fun. But then I kind of noticed from the corner of my eye, there were a group of Dutch men that were there just eyeing me, giving me the stink eye, like looking at me like, shaking their heads. And they didn't look like everybody else. They kind of looked like, you guys remember that movie, The Wanderers? Yeah? In that movie, The Wanderers, there's that group called the Ducky Boys that are all scary like that. And that's what these guys look like. There's 5 or 6 of them, and they were just kind of looking at me, dancing with, the Dutch women of and I'm sitting here dancing, and they're just looking, and they're looking, and they start talking, then they start making a move towards me. And I'm like, oh no, it's gonna start happening. So then, quickly, I started thinking, Garrett, think quick on your feet. Tim, where's Tim? Where's Tim? Tim is talking to someone with his back turned to me. I'm like, no, I can't use Tim. Okay, keep dancing, be cool. What can I do? What can I do? Ooh, martial arts. Martial arts is something that people that are not Asian are afraid of. So my dance moves started incorporating martial arts stuff. So I'd be dancing, and I'd see them, I'd be like, dancing a little bit, and then I was like that, yeah. So I was doing, and it did stop them because they were kind of approaching me in rhythm to the music. So the music, getting closer. I do a little, they stop, and I go, they go a little further. And say, oh, we can take care of that move. Then I do a couple like spinning back kids, and then they were like, oh, they back up a little bit. Start coming back to me again. And then, out of the blue, I see 3 Asian people. I go, ah. So I run to them. I go, hey guys, you speak English? They go, not only do we speak English, we're American. I go, yes, Americans. Yeah. I look back at the group, they see me with the other Asians, they're like, oh, okay. He's got backup. We'll beat him up next week. Oh my gosh. But yeah, the martial arts moves, the people I were dancing with, they were like, what is happening to him? Like he's doing weird stuff now. Into the West. Anybody know that? Into the West? Okay, this is a 6-part miniseries on TNT. And I was cast as Chow Ping. I'm the Chinese railroad worker, Chow Ping. Now, day 1, I come onto the set, I'm in the makeup trailer, and I notice that the actor that I'm in, every single scene that I'm in, all my dialogue is with one actor, and his name is Christian Kane. Christian Kane is sitting next to me in the makeup chair, and I sit down, and I say, good morning. And he looks at me, he's like, He goes, like grunts. I'm like, wow, that's not very neighborly. So we sit there a little while longer. They're putting on makeup, and I finally go, hey man, you want to run some lines here? Go over our lines? And he goes, oh man, you're playing Chow Ping? I go, yeah. He goes, oh, sorry dude, I thought you were a background actor, like an extra. I'm like, oh, okay. Because my hair was long, right? So I look with long hair like a Native American, like a indigenous person. And in Into the West, there were many, many background indigenous actors. So he thought that I was one of those people, but I wasn't. So that was fine. We finished getting our makeup applied, and some assistant director runs up to us and says, Garrett, Christian, the director needs to speak with you. We're like, yeah, where's he at? He's on set, and we were filming in New Mexico outside, so this is an exterior shot. So we had to walk down to this gully to go talk to, and it's snowing too. And so we start walking down there, and Christian's walking ahead of me, and I'm walking behind him. Then all of a sudden, from the corner of my eye, I see someone making a beeline towards us, just walking with purpose, and they get up to where we're at, and the person looks at me and says, where do you think you're going? And I said, to talk to the director. Oh, really? Who told you that? I don't know. This is my first day on the set. Well, guess what, buddy? You're gonna get your ass back with the rest of the Native American extras right now. There's a Native American extra holding pen. That's where you gotta go. And I was like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, really? Do you want to get fired? And he said this to me. And I said, well, that's probably not going to happen because I'm the star of this episode. And the guy goes, what? You know? You're playing Chow Ping? I go, yes, I'm Chow Ping. And so I let it go. I didn't say anything, didn't get him fired. But then at lunch, the same thing happened. They have 2 tents set up. 1 tent for lunch, it's all the actors, and then the director and the director of photography, and then the second tent was for all the background actors. So we're in the principal tent getting our buffet. It was like a barbecue, ribs, mac and cheese. So we're getting our stuff, and as we're about to go find a table to sit down, this woman walks up to me, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, what tribe are you?" I said, "Excuse me?" She goes, "What tribe are..." It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what tribe you are. I just need to know, can you ride a horse? And I said, "Yeah, I can." And I already know what's gonna happen, but I'm playing along with it. I can ride a horse. She goes, "No, I don't wanna know if you've ridden a horse at a fair. I wanna know if you can ride a horse at full gallop." And I'm like, and before I could answer, Christian Kane gets wind of this, and he's like, "Would you ask him?" And she goes, "This is none of your business." He goes, "Sweetheart, do you know who this is? He's the star of this episode. Our characters, it's all revolving around us. Asking him if he has to ride a horse." They started getting into a verbal argument, the two of them, okay? This continues all the way until we sit down. I'm sitting at a bench, Christian's facing me, she's sitting at a table behind us, they're still arguing. I mean, and then the end of it was like, Christian goes, "Woman, don't make me walk over there and take this rib bone and make you..." I mean, it was just like, they got almost violent. I was like, "No, stop. Let's all calm down." Later, she walks over to me and she says, "I'm so sorry. I am the Native American Extras Coordinator. There's a scene next week. We need 150 Braves riding on horses, galloping. I have 3. So I saw you and I thought, oh, perfect. I didn't know that you were playing Chow Ping. And so, another mistake. Oh, it happened again. Germaphobes. It's Janeway! Oh, wait, it's not your laugh. It's your laugh. I was looking at the lady with the neck brace. I'm like, that laugh is gonna hurt you, ma'am. You need okay, it's your laugh. This front family, we're not amused. Continue your show. Don't make her laugh. Make this half of the room laugh, but not the one laughing in their ear right now. Thank you. Okay. Oh, we got another one here. This one's like... It's like a symphony of laughs here. Is that your real laugh, really?
He's not that.
She's like...
Photon torpedoes.
It's like a mating call. What? I hear it. Ponfar? It's Ponfar time. That started it all. You know those ridiculous Taco Bell commercials? Like it's a total normal commercial, like 2 people in love, they meet on the beach, and they're just about to kiss, and you hear, dong. And they're like, one person's like a Stepford wife. They're like a zombie, like, "I'm going to Taco Bell now." That's the most Twilight Zone Taco Bell commercial ever. It's just normal people, and then dong. Speaking of sounds, when you get off the ship, when you take your room key, when it's successfully scanned, it makes a bing bing sound, right? It's like a bing bing. So my first day off in Nassau, Megan goes first, bing bing. And I give him my card, it's like, which is so jarring because it's just been a cacophony of bing bing for everyone, and then me, as if the equipment is saying, "You're so screwed. Stay on boat." Ship. Stay on ship. That's better. That's the new SOS. Thank God they're recording this. Oh, they were. They left. They're like, "Hey, we got enough, buddy. Have fun." The people in St. Thomas. "These people are all from Star Trek. Every single one." Does that sound like an island accent? I'm trying to get it close. I know it's not the best, but can we get paid? Okay. Oh my gosh. I've done a lot of moderating of conventions and panels over the years where I'm moderating other actors' panels because I just love it. I love conventions. I love everything about sci-fi and fantasy. And I had the pleasure of moderating Carrie Elwes from Princess Bride. So, yeah, Carrie Elwes. And so I was on stage with him, and he still looks great. And someone said, we heard that if there was Princess Bride the musical, would you be part of that? And he was like, oh no, I know when my ship has sailed, I wouldn't be doing that. I'm far too old to reprise the role of Wesley on Broadway, And I'm cheering them on like, no, yeah, we'd love to see you. And the audience is cheering and happy. And then he goes, let me tell you a story about when I was a young child in England. And we're like, okay. He said, I went to Selfridge's department store, and their special guest that they had brought in was Adam West, Batman, all the way from the United States. The original Batman had come over to England at Selfridge's to do an appearance. So the announcer comes out on stage, it's a stage like this, and he's like, welcome boys and girls to Selfridge's. We have a very special treat for you today. We have Adam West all the way from America. And there are these kids are like, woo, yay, Batman himself. And so they open up the curtains, and there's they've rigged some kind of system where he comes in on a little harness, and he drops on stage, and he's in his full costume from the show. What is it, Lycra? I don't know what fabric that is. But at this point in Adam's life, he had one too many cupcake, okay? So, it's like a sausage about to burst in the seams, right, of this suit. So as he lands on the stage, he looks out at the kids, he goes, hey kids. And then as he's not even done saying kids, and he goes, and he passes out and falls. They quickly lower the curtain, but his 2 feet are still sticking out from the curtain. And this one kid in front yells, Batman's dead! Batman's dead! And all the kids start crying and screaming in front. He told this story at this convention, and I literally fell off the stage. I mean, I've never moderated a panel where I've almost fallen off the stage, and that was very close to happening on that one. The first panel that I moderated for Calgary Expo, I told the promoter, I said, listen, if you have anybody who cancels or gets sick, food poisoning, I'll step in and be your substitute moderator. And they're like, okay. Saturday rolls around, Saturday afternoon, they call me, 4 p.m., need you in the main stage. I go, oh, okay. What happened? Guy got sick. Okay. Who am I moderating? Stan Lee. Now, and so my first thing is this a Chinese Stan Lee? Or Marvel Stan Lee? Marvel Stan Lee. Oh my God. So I'm on the stage with Stan Lee. So we're sitting there. He's right next to me. And then he pats my leg and he's like, now I need your help. I'm like, okay. I can't hear very good, so you might have to repeat the question for me. And he's tapping my leg and I'm going, yes, Grandpa? I'll help you. I'm so happy that I start crying tears of joy on stage. And there's fans in the front like tweeting, Garrett Wang is now crying next to Stan Lee. And I'm just like, it was just so overwhelming. And he was so amazing because he was so intelligent and his wit was the best. Someone asked him something about, Spider-Man, and he said, well, I thought to myself, why do I keep saying that? My wife always gets mad at me when I say, I thought to myself, because she says, who else would you be thinking to? It's true. Like when you say that, you only think to yourself, no one else. So but that one comment just endeared me to Stanley. And when he touched my leg too, that was also good. I love that. I have, let's see. The good thing is they have a clock here, so I'm looking at this clock going, all right, 7:30. We got a little more time here to regale you with crazy stories. You know, there was a time when we were filming Voyager that I went to Disneyland in LA. I get there with the girlfriend I was seeing at the time, and we're waiting for the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom ride. And this was, they had just released this ride. It was brand new. So this line was an hour and a half. And I remember standing there with my girlfriend, and we're just, slowly moving. And there's a family in front of us. And in the first half hour, the little girl in the family kept looking back at me. So she's right here, and she'd be like, Then she got up the nerve to say something. She goes, you know what? I go, what? You look like the guy on Voyager. I said, that's really funny, little girl. I am the guy on Voyager. And she goes, you look a lot like him, but you're not him. I said, no, it's really me. And, well, you know what? I watch Voyager with my family every week. I know what he looks like. You could be his cousin or maybe his brother, but you're not him. I continue to argue with this 12-year-old girl for the next 20 minutes until my girlfriend just like yanks me really hard. I'm like, what? And she brings me in close and she whispers, stop arguing with the 12-year-old. Everyone is watching and you look like an idiot. I said, I'm just gonna ask her one more thing, okay? Just one. Fine, you wanna look like an idiot? Yes, I wanna look like an idiot one more time, okay? So I turned to her, I said, guess what, little girl? I got my driver's license. I'm gonna show you that it's me. She goes, put your license away, I already know it's not you. And that's when I gave up. If she's not even gonna look at evidence, I gave up. That was a wonderful, wonderful day at Disneyland. Who went to Disney World or Universal before coming on this? Any people here? Yeah? That was a lot of fun, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I went there with some of my friends from the Guac and Fries group. And also, I was with Megan, was Keely, and also my friend Evil Dick Donato, the winner of season 8 Big Brother, that crazy rocker guy. So he came and showed up and went with us. Just really funny watching Evil Dick with my 13-year-old stepdaughter, just how he was messing with her. She's like, Mom, I really want to get an airbrush tattoo. And we're like, okay, let's pick which design. And she goes, oh, that one looks pretty cool, but no, I think I'm gonna go with the dragon. So then she goes up to the lady who's doing the tattoos to order the dragon airbrush. And she's like, the lady's like, okay, so which tattoo would you like? And Keely's about to say the dragon, and Evil Dick is standing there going, the machine guns. And she's like, I like the dragon, she wants the grenade. Like, he kept just talking over her. No, I want the dragon, she'll take the tank. And the whole time we're at the park, he's like bumping into her and he's acting like he's on Big Brother still. It was just like, I'm gonna mess up the competition. But we had a wonderful time. We stayed at a house that we rented in Davenport that had like a bowling alley. So a big group of us from Brock and Fries, had a lot of fun. And we had this huge projection TV thing, and we were watching different things like on the cable, but then we were also watching things that people had on their computer. So our friend Cam had his screen up on, he was basically projecting his screen onto the monitor or on the wall. And my friend Billy's sitting next to me. He's like, oh, I love to see people's like tabs that are open and where they, you see that whole line of tabs. And so we're looking at the tabs, and tabs only show a little bit of the website. They don't show just the beginning of the name. And so I have to go. I took a picture of it, so I have to go there I'm not going to show you. I'm going to tell you. So one of the tabs was Asians and Asian, and we're like, what? Asians and Asian, like what is that? So everything, all the tabs sound very sketchy, like very possibly, you know, something else. And then as we look closer, we're like, what could that be? And it ended up being Asians, Americans, and where they like to shop for food. I'm like, oh. And then we're like, Cam, we thought we got you. He's like, seriously, guys, everything you're seeing up there, it's gonna be food-based. It's gonna be food-related, right? And so we're like, I don't know. So we're looking over at the other ones, and then another one was thick and creamy, and then you don't see the rest. I go, oh, we got you, buddy. Then he expands the thing, it's thick and creamy tomato soup recipe. And I'm like, we thought we had him on that one. And that was not it. Yeah. What was the Asian? There was like, was there another one? Was there a third one? I have some of the people here.
White claw.
You don't remember now, do you?
No.
Yeah. But thick and creamy was the best.
Thick and creamy was the best.
For sure. Asians and Asian. And everything was innocent. There was nothing behind it at all. The very first time that I had a experience which was, I guess the best way to put it is Twilight Zone. No actor in the history of film, television has ever gone to a convention and experienced this experience. I was in Birmingham, England, and I was signing autographs, and this woman, she was in a wheelchair, so she wheels her wheelchair, and she sees me at the autograph line, and she kind of waves, and she goes, "Hello, Harry Kim." I said, "Hi there," and she wheels away, so I'm signing away. About an hour and a half later, now she's in the line to get an autograph. She's in her wheelchair, and I notice she's wearing a beautiful dress, and she has one leg only, and one high heel on. The other leg, whether it's a birth defect or an accident, I don't know how she lost it, but she had one leg. And she gets up to the front of the line, and remember, my experience with her was, "Hello, Harry Kim," and that was it, and I waved at her. Now she's in line, and when she gets up to the line, she pushes herself, launches herself out of her wheelchair and lands on my signing table, and in one swift move shimmies all the way up to me and grabs me by my shirt lapel and pulls me in close. I'm like, "Ooh," which, come on, none of you did that to John Delancey when you were getting a photo op with him, like, just, "Come here." So she pulls me in close and she says, "I like your shirt." And now the minute she says that, I smelled the entire bar was coming out of her mouth. Heavy alcohol smell. And she's holding that, and she goes, "I like your shirt." I'm like, "Okay, thank you." And then she says, "Will you be my after dinner mint?" Come again? At that point, I look at her and I say, "Ma'am, I'm in a relationship, I'm so sorry." And so she lets go of my shirt lapel in disgust, right, just like that. And then her other hand comes back. Okay, yeah. Everything was slow motion at that point. The hand comes back and rears, and as it's coming in towards me, all the staff people, the handlers, the assistants, they're like, "No." And I'm sitting there looking at that hand coming toward me, and I'm like, "No." And yeah, you're thinking, why didn't you duck? Why didn't you move? I was too shocked. Just think about this. Never in the history of any convention or appearance has an actor been slapped by the fan, okay? So sure enough, she connects. She connects with such force, fueled by alcohol, such force that I was knocked out of my chair, okay? So I'm falling on the ground, I'm on the ground, I'm holding my face, and I just realized my face is just intense searing pain, and I actually had a handprint for the next hour and a half, actually. So I get back up in my chair, I'm like, "Oh my God." Just shocked, and everyone's still frozen in the no, they're like, "No." And just watching. I get slapped, I get back up. She gets back into her chair, looks at me, and goes, and just wheels off like that. Nobody says anything to stop her. We just all watch her wheel off into the sunset. So, there she goes. She just slapped our guest of honor. Can you imagine if that was George Takei? Like, oh my. How dare you, lady? So I started thinking about funny, like, promotional things that we could do. And I mentioned, like, I should have some, like, Altoid mints, you know, and I should make up like these Harry Kim's after dinner mints, you know, these like little, and make a design for a t-shirt. And then a fan came up to me and said, you know what the slogan should say on that shirt? I said, what? It should say Harry Kim's after dinner mints. So refreshing, it's like a slap in the face. Don't mind me, I'm time issue. That was crazy. Yeah. And to this day, I've actually seen her a few times. She has no recollection of that event whatsoever. I don't know. 3 seats to the wind, doesn't know anything, but yeah. So I'm thinking of making Harry Kim after dinner mints or Harry Kim mints, so refreshing, like they're like a slap in the face on a t-shirt, and bringing it to the cruise next year. So just absolutely hilarious. The name of this show, because I got an email from Joey from ECP, and he was like, dude, I need a name for your show. Last year was Forever Ensign, what are you gonna call it? And probably 5 minutes before I read that email, I was talking with Megan, we were at home, and she had just come back from the kitchen. And then I asked her, like, you know, men and their timing, right? I was like, can you get this from the kitchen? Because she had just come back, and she's like, you have 2 working feet. And so we had just had that conversation. So when Joey was asking for this name for the show, I go, you have 2 working feet. I'm gonna use that. And so it has nothing to do with anything I've said in this show whatsoever. But I will end on that, at least. So thank you so much for coming to my stand-up comedy. I appreciate it. I love you all.